Hey, and welcome to day 3, which is the big topic of resilience. Oof, who's ready? And if you're not sure, you've just landed here, go check out the intro and then rejoin us when you are ready. For we are day 3 into the guideposts of the gifts of imperfection by the amazing Brené Brown. And I've labeled this one showing up. And this is it's not about how we overcome. If we talk about resilience, we do think about that idea of bouncing back and how we overcome challenges. And yeah, that's all relevant. I consider myself to be a resilient person. The reason I consider myself to be resilient isn't because I think about my mindset, although clearly it plays a big part. And it does. When I've explored this, I was like, okay, so I have this belief that I can overcome most things, whether it's a goal or a problem or a situation, whatever it might be, which is a core part of what Brené calls critical awareness. Okay, so for me, I was like, awesome, that's great. But you also have the element of problem solving. Amazing. I feel like that's a tool that I use, and it is a muscle you have to flex, these problem solving skills. And then the other is around realistic goals. So this might not be a goal though. So we attribute this to things that we do, whether we've set ourselves a massive task and challenge, or we've got a big situation or choice to overcome. If it feels insurmountable, we're going to find it harder to problem solve. We're probably going to have less belief that we can do it, and all of that. There's a muscle that we have to flex, something we have to practice all the time, because that's life. Life is choices and situations and challenges. The problem is when we don't take a step back, or we don't have that kind of I have this belief that there is something bigger, and I find that really helpful when it comes to believing that I can overcome something. And reality checking what we see in this crazy world is important when it comes to this, because we all have problems and we see all this stuff going on and it looks like everyone's excelling at this. And when we step back and we see the bigger picture, it's a bit like mental health. Years ago, no one was talking about it, and you wouldn't talk about mental health. It was a little bit taboo if you were struggling, and all of that. Now the conversation's been normalized a little bit more. I wouldn't say it's solved, but it's been normalized a little bit more, so that it's not so taboo to turn around and say, hey, I just can't do this right now. I've got all this stuff, and it's not, and you feel like, great, it's not just me. Whereas before, there were lots of people sat there going, my God, this is just me, and what's wrong with me? I'm such a failure, and all of that disappointment and all of those feelings that weigh so heavy lead us on to that element of what Brené calls numbing. Now, I'd never heard this term before. Definitely when you equate to the examples, so scrolling, drinking or addiction, food habits, working too hard, all of that kind of thing. And you're like, okay, I get it. We all have bad habits. We all have coping mechanisms, and sometimes they weigh heavy, and sometimes they're smaller, and that's the way it is. You get the picture. But having that awareness of what a loss of resilience means, so when we numb that disappointment, we also numb our joy, because you can't have one without the other. Strength, struggle, we're there again. And we have to feel the not so good stuff in order to feel the good stuff. That's just how it goes. So this is about how we overcome, how we use those tools to build that awareness, to take a step back, to know that it's not just us, and to create a mindset of hope, because that was the outcome of this. That was what the research showed. Resilient people have this hope and this belief. So this is about recognizing what you can do. So I can do this. So take a moment. You use the breath, breathe in, sigh it away, let the shoulders drop. And today, or whenever you choose to use it. Take a moment to recognize whatever challenge, whatever goal, whatever situation. Know that you can navigate through it, you can do it, believe that you can do it, and then use the tools to break and chunk it down and move it forwards. I know it sounds simple, it's not always that easy, but think about those critical awareness elements. What is the goal? What is the situation? How can I break it down? How can I look at it from a problem-solving aspect? And believing that I can do it. Not running away from it, not putting it to the bottom of the pile. That's a thing too. Because today we're moving into a slightly more passive aspect of a practice to go along with this reflection. It's all about staying lit. So while we will explore a little bit of breath activation from lighting up from the inside out, we're also going to explore that topic of what lights us up, what brings us joy, how can we celebrate those joyful moments and really sit within those. Take care, and I will see you next time.